Hello and welcome to a rather late episode 168. You should have seen this last week, and I'm sorry that you didn't, but to be honest, I was in the middle of a neuralgia flare and in a lot of pain and therefore very bad-tempered. And then I had to go to the opticians the day before I was due to record and was given more bad news. So I proceeded to spend the rest of the week sulking and binge watching Downton Abbey. I even hid myself away from my closest friends for their safety. So I was going to do this last week as well. I've been telling you every episode since the beginning of the year that Belinda from Belinda's Baubles and I are running a topping out mal until the end of March. And as the mal is running, Belinda and I are drawing from both our chatter threads for participation prizes, which is a pattern prize of your choice. Now, Belinda drew one last and that person still hasn't been in touch with her. So you need to be watching both podcasts because you don't know who's going to draw the next one and who's going to announce it. I might draw it and Belinda announce it. So go back and watch her, not her last episode, the one before. You've got 2 weeks really from, well, a week and a half now to get in touch with her, or she's going to draw again because otherwise it's not fair. Before I draw, I'm going to apologise for the light. I'm also going to apologise, that's going to fall down and make a big noise, for the fact that I'm probably rushing. Next door I've got workmen in and they're making a heck of a noise and they've gone for lunch. So I'm trying to get this done while they're at lunch. I know they're coming back because they've left tools everywhere and the gate open. So I've got the blinds closed, half closed, because the sun is now, I've been waiting all morning to do this. The sun has now come round and is shining in, and otherwise everything will be striped. So let's draw. I'm going to get the pages up on my iPad. What I've done is I've taken the numbers from my chatter thread and the numbers from Belinda's chatter thread, added them together. So I'll draw a number from the total, and then depending where that number is, I'll know which thread to look on. So I'm going to pause you while I say the name and then start again. Give me a number between 2 and 110.
Here's a number between 2 and 110. It's 98.
98, so that is on Belinda's. Where are we? Chatter thread. 13 back. I'm doing maths. Okay. So this is a reply to somebody else's post. It's by, and I know this, I kind of know this lady, the fabulous Lorna, who is Knitting Bandit 1, and she says, are you just going to knit with one strand of 4-ply yarn? Thank you for the YouTube tutorials, I will study them. And that's in a reply to one of Belinda's own posts. So, Lorna, you know the drill. You can email me at mousesmakes@gmail.com or contact me on Instagram. Email is probably easier. And let me know what, or actually you could do it on Ravelry. Either way, email or Ravelry and let me know what pattern you would like as your prize. I will, in post-production, put that on the screen in case you missed it. The name of the winner of my draw. Right. What next? Oh Lord, I've got to talk about all the knitting I've not done. So let's talk about the socks first of all. I changed the needle size. That's disappeared beneath my chair forevermore. That I normally knit my socks on. And all was going well until I did a vanilla sock. And I got down as far as ready to start the toe and tried it on, and the foot was far too loose. I'm just going to get a blocker. Sorry about the noise. So I had to rip it back, and I ripped it back to where I'd picked up the stitches after the heel flap. Hang on a sec. Can I reach? No, I can't. That's mine, I think. This damn cushion. Why is it when you're in a hurry, nothing cooperates? Ripped it back to the heel flap, yes. And then had to start knitting it again. Now, I'm way behind with my sock knitting because it's been hurting my thumb and my wrist. And if I knit on magic loop or DPNs, I hold the needles the same way for both and it hurts my wrist. So for the foot, I swapped to a 9-inch circular, which helped because I hold them differently. I hold them above the needle like this rather than one hand below and one hand above. And it's this motion as I flick that irritates the tendon in my wrist. So that worked. But today is the 25th of February, and so I have 3 days to finish the second sock, of which I have this much. It's unlikely to happen, though I have ordered, because I did the leg in a 2.5mm, I have ordered a 2.5mm 9-inch circular, which is coming today. So that might speed things up because I can knit for longer because I don't have to keep putting it down every couple of rows to rest my wrist. So I have a hoe. The yarn is Opal in the fabulously named Who Ate All My Windows. And the heel and toe are in West Yorkshire Spinners Turmeric. Are they turmeric? I'm doubting myself now. Now I've got to look. See, this is what happens when you try and go quick. They are turmeric. I should have trusted myself. It's one of my favourite West Yorkshire Spinners colourways. So, that's the state of play with socks. I've done a little better with my blanket. I need to get this finished by the end of the month. I'm picking, look at this now. I'm picking a blanket and a garment whip each month to work on as part of the topping out mal. And they've all been brought over from before the beginning of this year. And then there has been 2 pairs of socks each month for sock mals, but I may need to drop that down to 1 because of the thumb issue. Depends if it settles down considerably using the 9-inch circular. But I've already finished 1 blanket this month, and this is the second. When you saw it last, I was here. So I've done all the green, which was peridot for August, the blue sapphire for September, the opaly colour, which was opal for October, the citrine for November, and I'm now on December, which just means this last corner. So I'm decreasing at the end of every row, and I will have a corner eventually. The rows are getting shorter. I don't think I can fit it all in, but that's how wide it was to begin with. When I was doing the green, it was all of this. Long rows. The end is in sight. I could get this finished in a day or two, I think. So that's helpful, because as I've just said, I've got 3 days till the end of the month. I've done less well on the garment that I picked for this month. Sorry, that is My Favourite Blanket by Kay Jones, and it's being knit in my tonals from the Birthstone collection last year. This is the Saltmarsh Cove. It was my birthday cast by Laura Ayler. It was my birthday cast on in 2023, so it has been hanging around a while. And I have done some, but I'm nowhere near finishing. So I was there. And this month, I've had this out all month, I've done that much. And I've probably got as much to go again, and then the sleeves. So this is not getting finished this month, which is disappointing, but I've no one to blame but myself. Excuse me. The yarn is by James C. Brett, and it's the SH01 colourway, which, as you can see, is just a very bright rainbow. Yeah, I don't know why I haven't got on with knitting on this. I just don't know. It's actually quite pleasant to knit because I'm on the body, so it's round and round, but down each side is this garter panel. So every other row you're doing a purl section, so it adds just enough interest not to get boring. I don't know why I haven't worked on it more. The only excuse I have is that when the pain was very bad, I just couldn't even knit. All I could do was lie very, very still and very, very quiet and wait for it to go away. So that's a bit of an excuse. That's not the whole reason I've not knit on it. I don't really know why. But yes, that is all. So as there's only 3 days to go until the end of the month, and then there will be 4 days of working on stuff before I see you next, I've picked for next month already. And the garment I picked, I feel may be a little challenging also. This is a Stephen West pattern. It's the bubble sweater. This is the front. This is the back. And I am this far down the body, about the same as I was on the last one, actually. This was cast on the 9th of July last year. It was a birthday cast on for my friend who was turning 40 and who requested, a knitting friend, who requested that we all knit black and neon things in honour of her 40th birthday. And of course, most of us needed very little encouraging to do that, and I cast this on. So again, I've got the rest of the body, and I do like quite a long body, and the sleeves to go on this. I think they will be short sleeves because I don't wear long sleeve jumpers very often. So I think probably only a couple of inches of sleeve. Again, it's hopeful that I can get it knit in the month. The month is a bit longer, so that helps. But with it being black, that will be a little bit of a challenge as well. Not least of all because of the news I've just had about my eyesight. So, yeah, we shall see how well I do with this. The black yarn is West Yorkshire Spinners. No, it's not. It's not West Yorkshire Spinners. It's Yarn Smiths. Damn it. Yarn Smiths Create DK in black, which is shade 3000. And I can't get that back in the bag now. The multicolours, the neons, are a set that I dyed up myself. It was something I was trying. Didn't really come out the way I wanted, but look absolutely perfect in this sweater, I think. So there's no such thing as something that didn't work, really, is there? Because there's somewhere for it to go. This pink is my favourite of the colours. I really like this one here, which is pink and yellow. I don't know how well you can see that in this very bad light. But yeah, they're my two favourites of the colours. Unfortunately, at the front, my least favourite colour will be right under my chin, but I won't be able to see that unless I look in a mirror, which I try and avoid doing at all costs. So that'll be okay. I can see the pink when I look down. I have a handy shelf holding it out so that I can see it. So that's okay. So that's the garment that I chose. And I've knocked the sock down, sorry. I keep hearing voices and panicking because I think it's the workman back. It's not. We're all right. Then the blanket for March. The camera is trying to adjust the colour for you, and I've just shown it something dark, so it's just like lightened everything up. This is something that, again, I worked on all last year. It started off being, sorry for the crinkle, my mystery mini clubs from last year. And then I was also using Yarn Unique mystery mini clubs, but there were some problems with that. I stopped using them, and I don't have the 120 squares that I had anticipated. So I'm going to have a count up and see how many squares I've got. I've still got 2 mini sets of my own to crochet up, so that's another 10. And I can make up numbers with other minis that I've got. So I've got this bag of squares. And if I can pick it up. Oh. I have this box full of squares. So I've got to work out how many I've got. I think there's quite a few. There's certainly 90. With my extra 10, there may be 100. So I could do a 10 by 10 blanket. The plan is, well, the plan originally was to go around each square. Let me find the one that I did first of all. It's right down at the bottom. The original plan was to edge each square in black and join as I go. I may still do that. It depends how large the blanket is going to be. Originally it was to go on my bed, but as it's not going to potentially be as large as I thought it was, I might have it on the back of the sofa. We have a black leather suite, so that would, the black edging would look good. It would, you know, tie it all together. But if there aren't enough to make that a viable proposition, I may just stitch them together and have it as like a lap blanket. I don't know yet. I've got to see how many squares I've got. As I say, there's another 10 to be made up. Oh, it's here. because, and I'll put some extras in here just in case. Oh heck, I'll have to dig for these, hang on. There's this was the December mini club, and or was that November? That might have been November. I've forgotten which ones were which. That's bad, isn't it? I'll have to look it up. But yes, I've fished out loads of minis that I think that was a November one, I think, and that one. I think it was these. I think it was these for November. I think. I'm not sure about the pink one. Anyway, doesn't matter. I've got quite a few minis of my own hand dyed in here, and so I can make up the numbers if I want to. I could make the numbers up to the original 120, but crocheting also hurts my wrists, so I don't want to do any more than I have to. And if I'm honest, and this sounds stupid, but not having the full set of the Yarn Unique minis has kind of ruined the whole thing. You know when you have something in your brain and you know how you want it to be, and then it can't be like that? Well, it's sort of all spoiled. Which is why I didn't go ahead and crochet out my November and December minis as I dyed them. I sort of, not lost interest, but you know, lost enthusiasm, I suppose. So that's the blanket that I'm planning to make in March, or put together in March. And the bonus to that is that I've got half my desk back, because the minis and the crocheted squares and the blocking board have all been taking up my desk for a year, essentially. So yeah, pretty pleased about that. Right, that is everything I have to say knitting wise. Members Zoom is this coming Thursday, so when you see this, it's tomorrow. If you're watching this on the day it comes out, I tie myself into knots with this every month. It is on the 27th of February at 8 PM GMT. Members, you all have the details. Hope to see you there. And now all I have to talk about is the upcoming shop update. So if that's not something you're interested in, thank you for joining me once again. Sorry I wasn't here last week, but trust me, it's better for you that way. And I will see you next week. Okay, for those of you staying for the shop update, let's start with the Advent Revisited yarns for this month. These are only available during March. The shop update will be on March the 2nd, which is this coming Sunday. I'm sorry, the sun's come out again and now the camera's really struggling. So these may not look great because of the light. Check out the pictures in the Ko-fi shop. So this one is Giant's Causeway. Oh, actually, that's not too bad. It's a bit darker brown than it's showing on there. The blue is pretty much true to colour. So you've got a darker blue, a pale bluey grey, and a mixture of blue and brown, and this sort of caramel colour, which, as I say, is a little bit darker in real life. That one is, yes, Giant's Causeway. This one is Blackpool Tower and is again coming out quite well. So you've got a greyish blue, almost like an Air Force blue, pale blue, and then there are orange and red speckles on a section in middle there. And finally, this is the Dark Hedges. So again, this is a brown. My brain just said donkey brown. I suppose it is. Really bright sort of azure blue. And this has got lime green, yellow and orange speckles with sort of a grey beige. Again, I've tried to take the best photos I can to show you the colours. Yeah, so check out the photos if you're not sure. Then there are, of course, the mystery skeins for this month. And if this has worked properly, I can show you on my tablet. So the inspiration for the Mystery Mini Club and the Mystery Full Skein for March is this. That just gives you an idea of the colours you can expect to find in it. Let me try and remember how to do this. The spring sets will also be going into the shop. Now, these will be available until the end of the second week in May. So this is March, April and May's minis and full skein inspirations. So you've got March, April and May. That's coming out very orange. It's not, it's a deeper red than that. When we get to April and when we get to May, these will be the inspiration photos for them for those months separately. And then I need a drink before I make my announcement. Hang on. Okay, sorry about that. I tried to get rid of the croak. I don't think it's gone. It is Advent time again. This year, just because I like to complicate things for myself, I'm offering 2 different Advents. Both will be available to pay in full or to buy a week at a time. But I would ask that if you're doing it a week at a time, put a note in your phone or something so that you don't forget, because I won't chase you and you will end up with just 1 week if you forget about it. That's the mini skein, 24 mini skeins. This year I'm doing 4 full skeins rather than 4 this is hard to say, 4 sock sets. It will just be a full skein on its own. And that is also available in both the Advent options. So, option number 1. Is Merry and Bright. So there will be a 24 20 gram mini skein on 75/25 fingering weight. That's just the most popular. And then there will be 4 full skeins on the same base. And option number 2, excuse me, is Moody and Dark. And the details for that are exactly the same base for both the minis and the full skeins. Now, I am aware that, sorry about all the clicking, buying an Advent is a considered purchase. They are a lot of money, even mine, and I try to keep my costs as low as possible. They are budget Advents with no extras. But I think everybody is feeling the pinch, And so I've made the decision that if you would like to see the advent before you commit to buying it, you can email me or contact me in Ko-fi Messenger, and I will send you a photograph of, I've got a mock-up of both advents, not a mock-up, a trial run. I will send you a photograph of what you can expect the advent to look like in actual yarn, so you can see one or both. But I would ask before you buy. I feel bad saying this, but if you've already committed to buy it, you can't then look at it, because I don't want people having a look and going, actually, I've changed my mind, and then I've got to start refunding people, which costs me money. And also, if you're just like another yarn diet and you're spying, then please don't ask to see my advent, because that's not fair. That's not playing the game. But yeah, joking aside, that is what I've come up with for this year. So you can, if you want to, ask to see it before you commit to buying it. I've done it that way rather than put the photograph of the complete advent in the shop, because some people prefer a surprise. Of course they do. That's the whole point of buying an advent. So if you don't want to see it, you don't have to. But if you do want to see it, you can. And you can see both of them. If you can't decide whether you want the Merry and Bright or the Moody and Dark, you can see both and see which one you prefer. I do only have currently a mock-up of the minis, not the full skeins though. So if it was a full skein set that you were after, you may have to wait a bit for that. But I should get those mocked up in the next couple of weeks. So I think that's everything. I'm just checking my notes to make sure I haven't forgotten something, because I always do. My notes look like a flow chart because I've forgotten things when I'm putting it in. So there's an arrow up there, and then there's another arrow coming down to something else that's linked to the two things. Scatterbrained. No, that is everything I needed to tell you. So if anything's not clear, should be on the listing. If it's not on the listing, please don't hesitate to message me through Ko-fi, or you can email me. And yes, that's it. Wow, I was fast. They haven't come back from lunch yet, which is a great relief, because they've got a radio playing and they're banging and hammering on the wall that is connected to this wall just beside you there. So they have been making quite a lot of noise today. And I didn't think I was going to get this done, and I didn't really want to have to do it tomorrow morning, which is the day that it goes up, because then any little editing bits I have to do, and sometimes it takes forever to upload. It's just all too much stress. I prefer to record it the day before. So I've been able to do that. The kind workmen have clearly taken a longer lunch break just so that I could. Right. I'm going to go. I've made a terrific mess that I'm going to have to clear up before I can get out of the room to get myself some lunch. I don't want to tease you, but I'm looking at the advents. They're hanging on the back of my door, and I'm very pleased with them. All I've got to do now is restrain myself from casting them on before December. Right, I'm going to go, because I've got through it all so fast that now I'm like, oh, they're not back yet. I've got time to chat. But I haven't got time to chat because I'm just wittering nonsense. I will see you next week. Dave is back to work next week. He's got a few days off. He's got a long weekend because it's his birthday. And yeah, my voice is going, so I'm going to see you next week. Bye, guys.